Okay, so today's lesson is long division of polynomials. So we've done operations, we've done multiplication, addition, and subtraction, and now we are ready to do long division. Okay, so our objectives, we have two. One is we're going to review division properties of exponents. So that was an Algebra 1 standard, so we'll just review that quickly. And then we'll move on to dividing polynomials through long division. So I should put that dividing with long division. Okay, let's jump into this. So the first thing, let's review the division properties of exponents. Okay, so we have, in this case, here's our property. We have like bases, so both of these bases are x, and we have a over b. So what this says is that if we have these like bases, then we simply subtract the exponents, so it becomes a minus b. Let's look at a couple examples of that. So the first one, let's look at instead of having a variable x, let's say we have 2 to the 6 over 2 squared. Well, that becomes 2 to the 6 minus 2, which is 2 to the 4th. And we can do that out. 2 to the 4th is equal to 16. However, we can leave it like this. We're going to be using leaving things in terms of exponents today and in future lessons. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, this one is v to the 7th over v to the 5th. So again, it's 7 minus 5, which is v squared. And one more. And let's look at this one. This one says still a monomial up top, but we have two variables and a coefficient. It's divided by another monomial, but again, same two variables and a coefficient. So we're just going to look at this, and we can think of this as three separate problems. So 8 over 4 is 2. U to the 10th over u to the 8th is u squared. I got that by subtracting. And v squared over v, well, this is like there's an imaginary 1 there, so that just gives me 1v on top. And that's my answer. Okay, we need to know this property in order to solve, in order to do long division. So let's go into a long division now. And let's put this in your notes. So here is a bit of notes that we need to go over. Let's move this real quick. Okay, so we're going to use these as our steps. And our steps are we're going to set up our division problem. Set up using the divisor. The divisor is the thing that you're dividing by. And then dividend. The dividend is what you're dividing into. Then you're going to put in 0 placeholders, and we'll explain that. A quick example is if we have x cubed plus 2, well, you can see that we're missing the x squared in the x term. So over here, this is where we put them in with a 0 in front of it. So that's a 0 place order. And note that I wrote it in descending order. So it goes 3, 2, 1, 0. And then we perform long division the same as in arithmetic. So I find it's easier not to go through long explanation of this because you guys learned how to divide in lower grades, and so we're going to use what you already know. Okay, so let's look at this. So I have, first thing is, this is my divisor, so I'm going to put that on the outside, b plus 5, and I'm going to put my dividend on the inside with my placeholder, so that becomes 3b cubed plus 15b squared. Now I don't have a b there, so I'm going to put just 0b to the first power plus 1. Alright, so I have that. Now let's extend this page. Okay, so now let's do this division, and we'll look at this as we do it. Okay, so we have b to the b plus 5. Well, how many times does b go into 3b cubed? Another way of looking at that is, what would I have to multiply b by to get 3b cubed? And the answer is 3b squared. Because when I do this multiplication, 3b squared times b is 3b cubed. So what I did is I multiplied this by this first term. And now I need to do that to the second term as well. So that becomes plus, plus 15b squared. Now let me use red here. So what I did is I multiplied 3b squared times b, and that gave me this. And then I multiplied it by the 5, and that gave me this. Okay, now just like the rules of arithmetic, when I did long division or arithmetic, my next step is to subtract these. So I'm going to subtract both. So 3b cubed minus 3b cubed is 0. And this 15b squared minus 15b squared, this is 0 as well. And I'm going to put this, just for us to keep track, I'm going to put 0b squared here. So you'll see why this helps us. Okay, I have 0b squared. So now the next step in long division is we drop this term here. So we drop this term, and that gives me a plus, let's keep the red, plus 0b. Okay, so I had b squared, so now how many b's do I have to multiply? And the answer is plus 0 b's in order to get 0b b squared. So I multiply this out. 0b times b is 0b squared. 0b times 5 is plus 0b. And again, I'm subtracting that. All these are zeros, so those go away. And I'm just doing this work as kind of a formality, just so you can see how to keep the process going. And the last one is a 1. So let's, how many times does b go into this? And it doesn't, right? Like, you cannot multiply anything by b in order to get 1. So this is our remainder here. So we get a remainder of 1. And we bring this up top and put it and write it like this. So the answer to this division is 3b squared plus 1 over b plus 5. So this is my answer. I don't have to write the 0b in here. Okay, let's do another example. Okay, in this case we have 7b minus 8, and if you look, let's paste in this chart here. Alright, so our first step is set up using the divisor dividend. In this case, the dividend is out of order, so we're going to go right into step 2 and put it in order. So I have to put my 7b to the 4th first. So let's put 7b to the 4th here. The next one is minus 8b cubed. There is no squared, so I'm going to put in a 0 place. So plus 0b squared. And there is a b, so plus 28b and minus 31. Alright, now let's go through or perform long division. So we're going to go through this step. How many times does 7b go into 7b to the 4th? Well, that's b cubed. So b cubed times 7 is 7b to the 4th minus 8b cubed. Okay, again, these are gonna, let's subtract these now. So we're gonna subtract both of those. So that's like adding. When you subtract a negative, this becomes a positive. So when we go through here, we get 0b to the 4th and plus, and let's see this in a different color, 0b cubed. And let's go through all the steps as a formality. So how many times does b go into 0b cubed? And that's plus 0b squared, and I'm just putting the 0 in as a placeholder. And let's drop this next, 0b squared. Okay, so now I multiply that out, this times this, 0b cubed plus 0b squared, and I subtract those now, so minus and minus, and that gives me again a 0b squared. Let's drop the 28b. Okay, so how many b to the first powers do I have to multiply to get 0b squared? And that's 0 b's. And again, I'm going to distribute those. So this times this, and this times this. So 0b times 7b is 0b squared plus 0b. Subtract those, and I get 28b. So now it's starting to get more interesting again. And now I drop the negative 31. Now what do I have to multiply 7b by to get 28b? And that is a positive 4. So now when I multiply the positive 4, I get, you can see 4 times 7b is positive 28b. 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. And now I'm going to subtract. So I'm subtracting, which changes this to a positive. And negative 31 plus 32, and I get 1. And this is my remainder. So remember, we bring our remainder up top. So that means it's plus our 1 over the divisor, 7b minus 8. So my final answer here is b cubed plus 1 over 7b. Oop, I forgot part of this. B cubed plus 4 plus 1 over 7b minus 8. And this is my full answer. Alright, now you might say like, oh, there's all these zeros. Mr. Phillips, do we have to do these zeros, put these 0 placeholders? Well, no, you don't. So if you'd like to skip that step, that's fine with me. However, I think it confuses some people on like, oh, well, why? It's not consistent here. Like, each one is dropping down consistently if we put in these 0 markers. Let's take a look how I would do this quickly and without those zeros there. Okay, let's erase this top part. Okay, this is how I would do it quickly. 7b goes into b to the 4th, b cubed, and that gives me 7b to the 4th minus 8b cubed. Subtract that. That gives me 0. That gives me 0. I'm going to drop that. That's 28b. And I can drop this to minus 31. And let's just put in a plus 4 here. 4 times 7b is 28b. 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. Now I subtract these, makes that a plus, and I get my remainder of 1, and that gives me the same thing that we got previously. Okay, you'll have lots of practice on doing long division. It's hard at first, but you'll get the hang of it and become much better.